I know my family and friends love sweets and candy. I wonder if I could make something with it. Luckily, I know just the place to get some inspiration. The moment you step inside, you smell a wonderful, delicious aroma in the air. And then you see this.
If you look closely at all these miniature buildings, you can see that they're actually all made out of gingerbread. I'm here at Gingerbread City at the Museum of Architecture, and this is Melissa. She's the curator and the founder of the Museum of Architecture.
Hi, good morning, and thank you so much for joining us at Gingerbread City. So, as you said, I'm the founder and director of the Museum of Architecture, and we have this entire city made out of gingerbread by UK-based architects.
Biscuit tiles, sugar glass windows, lollipop trees and pillars made out of candy canes. These gingerbread houses might remind you of Hansel and Gretel, but they were not built by an evil witch. Here you can find theatres, churches, museums, as well as office buildings, flats and even some cottages.
So I went to an exhibition in the US where there were a few gingerbread houses, and I thought, how amazing would it be to have architects actually design gingerbread houses, and how incredible would it be to have an entire city made out of gingerbread? So that's where the idea came from.
Over 60 architects and planning experts put their effort into building this gingerbread community to create an ideal living space. It's not just designed for those tiny residents. Believe it or not, gingerbread sweets can be key ingredients of a good city too.
So this area is Puddington, which Melissa was talking about earlier. And here I can see some popcorn trees and a licorice playground. And I read here that it's designed so people have better access to walking and cycling around and reducing the miniature people's need to drive around the city.
Like Puddington, this city has other characteristic areas, such as Pancake Rise and Caramel Wharf, which is the city's vibrant artistic centre. Look here, there's even a replica of Frank Gehry's giant spider sculpture, which is at the Guggenheim Museum in Bilbao, Spain.
My favourite area in the whole exhibition has to be here at Sugar Hill. It's a sort of countryside suburban area, and there's lots of green spaces. And I like these houses especially. They look like the ones in the English countryside. And there's lots of fields over there, and I see lots of green. Nice candy sugar fields. Look at these tiny gingerbread men. I've never seen anything so small.
Baking and making gingerbread is a popular way of celebrating Christmas for many families. Gingerbread men and houses are great fun to make and decorate. The tradition of making decorated gingerbread houses started in Germany in the early 1800s. Melissa also runs workshops here, so children and parents can come and build gingerbread houses to take home.
So now I'm going to have a go at making my own gingerbread house with some help from Melissa here. So tell me, what do we need?
So the first thing to do is get your gloves on.
Okay, got the pad here, I'll get these on.
And then you need to take the piping bag. Now I've already cut a small hole at the bottom. The key is not to put too much icing on, because if we do, then the house will get too moist and collapse.
Okay, so what is the icing for? Is that for decorating?
So it's for sticking everything together. So essentially it's the glue, or if we're talking in architectural terms, it's the cement.
Okay.
So the key is to hold the bag in your left hand, because if I obviously squish here, it's going to all come out the other end. So to hold it in your left hand and squish down, and then hold it like this, and then you're gonna push from your palm and your fingers, and then as you can see a little bit's already starting to come out.
Royal icing is made by mixing the right amount of water with powdered sugar, so it's sticky like this.
So the key thing first is I'll do the first wall, and essentially you just pipe down the end of the gingerbread just like that in one clean row. Then you have not too much. Kind of like I say to people, it's a bit like putting toothpaste on a toothbrush.
So what materials have we got here? What do we need?
So this is gingerbread. It's quite a thick gingerbread. It's structural and it's not just going to crumble apart. So if you can just hold this wall up for me, please.
Yeah.
And I've already just piped down this end as well. I'm going to pipe down this side and stick this on here. And just so everyone can see, this is kind of what we're doing here. So we need to keep this wall on, and then we're gonna pipe in between the little holes as well, so that all stays together. And then on the inside, we're gonna pipe a little bit of a row here. And it sets in about a minute or so, so that'll be fine. So once you've got two sides of the wall on, it pretty much stands up by itself. And so again, I'm going to pipe down this end of the gingerbread here, and I'm going to pipe down this end here. And then we're going to put that side on. And then again, I'm going to do exactly what I did. The other side is just fill the little gaps. So any kind of light that you see coming through, you just fill the little gaps in just like that. And then we're gonna squeeze onto our end bits here.
I must say, you're making this look very easy.
I've done quite a few of them, I must say. Become a bit of a gingerbread house making pro here. Unlike the buildings upstairs, this is much simpler. It would take a lot longer to do any of those.
Yes, I think I'm happy with just a house for today. I don't know how long a city is going to take me to build.
Exactly. And some of the architects upstairs spent weeks doing those, so. Once you have the house kind of constructed, we're just gonna pipe down the edges again, just to give it a little bit of extra support. And there we go. And then we're gonna pipe down the edges for the roof. So what we're doing now is we're just going to put the roofs on. And then I always push the inside wall in just to try to get the glue, so just so you can see it in there, just to get that bit of icing on the edge to catch the top of the roof. You can obviously only do it on one side unless you've got really tiny hands. So we're just gonna push that in there and again, fill in some of those gaps. And then we're just gonna hold this for about 2 minutes. But we always used to do it almost every year. My sister always used to get angry at me because I'd always try to do something different. You know, she'd always do the perfect house. She's a baker, and she always used to do the perfect house with like the perfect rows of candy and everything. I mean, she just it looked absolutely beautiful. And I'd be the one sort of cutting up all the gingerbread, trying to make a geodesic dome or something crazy like that.
A few bite marks.
Exactly. So she'd always get angry at me for trying to do sort of asymmetric designs or something, but I guess she's a bit more understanding now that I went into architecture, so yeah, we're just gonna kind of hold that there. So what we can do is we can start to look at the candy and decide exactly where we want to place everything. Is not to put too much on, because the heavier the roof is, the more likely it is to slide off. So what I recommend is actually just putting a dab of icing onto the candy itself and then putting it on. The other thing that we can do is we can make shingles, or we can make a cross hatching. So maybe we can show 2 examples of like one side on either side of the roof of what might be a possibility.
This takes a lot of concentration. As you can see, this is what an architect looks like when she is constructing a house. Gingerbread is made with nutmeg, cinnamon, allspice, and of course ginger. Sometimes treacle is added to make the dough extra firm for building. And another good thing about gingerbread is it keeps for a bit longer.
Exactly. Okay, so that's one side. We can do like that, and then maybe we can put the little candy kind of in between each shingle.
Yes.
And then we can also do another one that's maybe some kind of a cross hatching on this side. So I sort of recommend doing something like that with the icing, and then essentially for the candies, if we wanted to do, let's say, some Smarties in the middle, we could just put those on like that. And that just stays like that. So if you want to go ahead and have a try.
Right.
Fantastic. So now we've got our little roof.
So then I'd like to do maybe the sides a bit. I thought I should add a big window here to bring some light into my house. But it does not help when you have a shaky hand. Melissa made it look so easy. Maybe I just need more practice. I've always made gingerbread men, gingerbread stars, even gingerbread decorations for the tree.
Yeah.
But a house has always been too big an attempt.
Yeah. It definitely helps when you get someone to bake the gingerbread for you. That is really, you can buy lots of kits everywhere actually.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Ready-made kits.
Ready-made kits. That they're also really helpful for the people who are a bit nervous about baking.
Yes, but it also helps when you have a architect construct the house for you. So the key thing is not to stick too much candy.
Correct,
on.
exactly.
Make it too heavy.
Yeah.
But it's difficult.
And it's tempting.
It's tempting. As long as you don't eat the candy first.
Exactly.
To put everything on there.
It's really nice as well to hear stories from parents who are with the kids saying, oh, I used to do this when I was younger, and and sort of getting involved. Also the parents who are eating the candy from the kids. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get ready our snow. So what we do for that is we take some powdered sugar and we take a sieve. There you go. And there's your gingerbread house.
Aww.
It's very sweet. Well done.
Well, I think this is the only house I can afford in London. I'm really happy with my gingerbread house. There's definitely lots to share with my friends and family, but I hope they like my creation enough not to eat it straight away. Maybe I can hide it in Gingerbread City for some time. Thanks for watching our Christmas special episode. Wishing you all a very Merry Christmas from Propeller TV.